What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kicking Knowledge. Today, we'll be continuing our Moon Through Houses series and talking about the moon in the 10th house. So, what happens when the moon, the planet of our emotional disposition, the planet that shows how we nurture others and need to be nurtured in return, the planet uh, that shows the relationship with our mother, our imagination, what happens when that planet comes into the house of career, success, achievement, recognition? Let's get into it. Now, it's one thing I love to point out to people is that planets in the angles, houses 1, 4, 7, and 10, are extremely important to a person's overall well being because the four angles are considered like the pillars holding this whole thing together. So, being that we're talking about moon in the 10th house, okay, your emotional nature and your emotional disposition and peace of mind comes from how much success how successful you are in your career. Simple as that, but not really so simple. Moon is in its opposite house. It naturally belongs to the fourth house. So you could say it's a bit out of place in the 10th house. So what I've seen happen here is that, especially and with moon being receptive, and the 10th house being the the house of what your father taught you, or like your father's legacy, all right? Because remember, it's the opposite to the fourth house, house of mother. What happens here is that your mother becomes the dominant um, figure for you in the sense of like role models for a career. Okay, what I've noticed here is that you want to, when your moon is in the 10th house, you want to check the aspects to your sun, because what's probably occurring is, if your sun isn't well aspected and you have moon in this position, it could signify your father wasn't really in your life much and didn't teach you the things about the world or the 10th house that you needed to know. So therefore your mother did. And you look and you approach the world and the public view with your moon, or with your moon. Okay, so mom was very much so the role model and has a huge influence over what you choose to do. You know, in some cases, mom might be mom might be a successful teacher, nurse, politician, whatever. Moms could be very powerful. This influences the person, but at the same time, it it's an unnatural thing. I don't have all the words for it, but I hope you can understand. So although say the moon, the person with this position goes on to have a pretty successful career, they'll, depending on how their sun is set up and really the relationship with their father, will see how they feel about that responsibility that comes with the 10th house. All right, this is a psychological position. Like I said, planets in the angles are very, very important. So that's just that. If anything, I'll make another video expanding on that more. All right, so house of career and things like that. What are some good things for a person with their moon in the 10th to do? Please pay attention to the sign of your midheaven, and of course your moon sign, because what this disposition signifies is that normally moon is like this hidden aspect of us that you normally wouldn't see in a person unless you reach that level where they consider you family or you are family. Okay, and they, their emotional nature, they made an emotional connection with you, so you therefore see their emotional nature. When your moon is in the 10th house, you bring that side of your personality to work. It is very much so needed. All right, so your moon sign is, in some capacity, your work mask. All right, so if you're a Leo moon in your career, you should pick something that is dynamic and where you can get you're really gonna get your just due of being creative and being appreciated for your creativity. If you're a moon in Virgo, and that's the thing with Virgo. With Virgo being the sign of service, Virgo can very much so find that niche quick and in almost anything. But in other signs, there has to be a real fulfillment, And overall, like I said, you are to wear your moon sign. You wear your moon sign at work. So let's say you have like a moon in Aries. You should definitely be out there being self-reliant and taking full control in whatever work environment it is. Your mind is like, I'm the leader here, regardless of, and through that, you'll have that peace of mind. So, and to get the most out of this, you want to know that it's okay and to play that moon role, to be your moon sign at work, all right? Because it's very much so needed. Now, you know, depending also on the sign, this will open up tons and tons of opportunities to do moon-like things. So a person working in the medical field with their moon in the 10th house, excellent, excellent. You get to nurture and take care of others. Depending on the sign and that element, you're going to show how much you do that, how much you enjoy doing that, and in what way you do that. So obviously, someone with a water sign in this position is going to be very much so, emotionally connected to the job and the people there. So pay attention to element as well. But like I said, it can open up things as far as anything that has to do with femininity. So for a guy, if you're a barber or if you're into like styling hair or something like that, I have a friend who has his moon in the 10th in Scorpio, and he is a male stylist. He doesn't just cut hair; he's a stylist. He does men and women. So this is something uh, that opens itself up. So the medical field, things being an RN nurse, a doctor, um, even working in nursing homes. Even if that's not your main thing, what you want to do in life, that's something that's definitely be available to you early. Um, for people with like Aquarian energy, right? Aquarian energy. Let's say your moon is in Aquarius in the 10th house, right? Let's just conceptually combine something of the moon and Aquarius. So Aquarius is this inventive scientific sign. What we could have is someone who invents a hair care product or some type of feminine product. All right, for females. All right, try. That's what I'm trying to get you. And depending on your sign, it'll even show more so what kind of feminine product that is. All right, so pay attention to that. Next thing here with Moon in the 10th is that if you have an opposition in this position, it's calling for true balance between home and uh, public life. With Moon outside of the 10th house, the mind is kind of like not worrying about those things, but if there's planets in the fourth house and things like that, that's gonna change that. But through it all, it signifies reaching real balance, right? Through career, through career and home life. Also, it can show that you build your a new home for yourself or your a new life through your career. So oppositions to from the fourth and the 10th house can mean a lot, um, as well as in conjunction with the other planets in your chart. So keep in mind to what the ruler of the fourth house is doing, and the depositor. Now, the depositor of the 10th house in this position, I find to be very important because it really dictates the things that let's just say if you have a malefic Mars or Saturn ruling this 10th house, right? And this and this and that depositor is in like a malefic house, maybe like a 6, 8, 12, it can show, going through these tough times in career. If Saturn is here ruling it, or even in the 10th house, it can just show all around restrictions on working. So you want to pay or finding your niche for success and things like that till later in life. So you definitely want to look at the depositor. But overall, like, the depositor is going to also be bringing some color here. So if Jupiter is ruling the 10th house, right, that overall the person with 10th house moon is going to be emotionally connected to their career. But if Jupiter is ruling it, is they're gonna need to add a spiritual element to it, or there can be a spiritual element in the career. All right, that you may never knew was an interest or available to you. So if it's Venus, is going to enhance, the need to work with other people, possibly, or be in some type of creative field, doing something that uh, goes along with Venus. So depositorship is important. All right. So guys, this is my interpretation of the moon in the 10th house. I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so. Until next time, peace.